Drink juice from the sweetest berries, dance the night away. Count stars in the sky while the clouds roll by us more.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, karibu sana. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always tuning back to my videos. And I do content on motherhood and lifestyle vlogs. This month has been back to back with like lots of sit down videos, and I wanted to capture mostly some of the things that I'm always asked on Instagram from moms from there. So I hope from today's topic you're excited to watch this video, because I am. This topic, honestly guys, it's very triggering. Toddler tantrums, this is where your patience is tested. I know we're always saying you learn how to be patient when your child is a newborn and whatnot, but when your child is a toddler, the patience that you need, I don't know, it comes from God. It comes from above. Because let me tell you, it's very hard to manage tantrums. But I've come here with some tips and tricks. Sorry. Yeah, so as to manage toddler tantrums. And so if you enjoy this kind of content, please like, comment and share. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed, and turn on the notification so that you're notified every time I put up a new video. Now let's dive into this topic. As I had just said, this topic is very important, especially to me, because I remember I was beaten a lot. I was really beaten a lot. Most of us, actually, I'm pretty sure most of our parents, if you're an African, if you're Kenyan, you know what I'm talking about. Most of our parents like really beat us because we were not listening. We were not disciplined, so we needed a beating. From my experience as a child, I didn't like it, and growing up I've come to know that I still don't like it, and I wouldn't want to do that to my child. So I prefer definitely being an authoritative parent and a disciplinarian, but not in a way that I'm physically abusing my child or emotionally abusing them. I can tell you for sure it's very hard if you're not aware of these triggers. Now when you have a child and they keep testing you, you will become your mother. So there's so much that triggers me personally as a mom, and I've had to think through things before I do them, and that has really helped. Toddler tantrums, as I've just mentioned, these are mainly from toddlers. Toddler tantrums, they usually start from the time your child is 1 year, because that's when they're a toddler. They're walking, they're doing so many things, they're touching, they're very hands-on, they're very learning things and stuff. So that's the time where you pick something of theirs that they're not supposed to touch, and they start crying. They have those outbursts. You do something they don't like, they cry, they just cry because of everything. You can just be breathing and they start crying. That's when most of these tantrums begin, when they are 1 year, and I think they go up to when they are 3. So guys, why do toddlers have tantrums? One, this is a developmental stage. This is where they are learning. Toddler is between 1 to 3 years, I think. They're learning how to express themselves, and these are things they're feeling, so they really don't understand that, and it's something new to them. So this is one of the biggest developmental stage you'll ever come across. And if you're a new mom, or if you're a seasoned mom, you know this, like after 3 months your baby is getting into a transitional stage, they're always crying. There's just some crying, something out of the ordinary that happened, and then they get into a routine, they're okay. Then they reach almost 5 6 months, another transitional stage, and they start crying. So this is no different from that. When there are toddlers, they are crawling, they're touching things, and if you touch what they want, if you refuse something they want, if you want them to do something they don't want, they will lash out, and they don't know how to manage that. So it's more of a transitional stage, developmental stage. Two, tantrums are caused by emotional expression. Toddlers or kids, they can be overwhelmed by emotions. I can say that because even as adults, we experience emotions, and sometimes we are overwhelmed by them. And I think sometimes we also want to cry it out, or we want to go somewhere where we can scream at the top of our lungs because we are so frustrated. So this is no different from a child. So first they don't know how to express themselves, and then now they're overwhelmed with emotion, so they need a form of release, and this release is through tantrums. Yeah. And that's why we are encouraged to be gentle and understanding, not to also shout at them. But we're gonna get into techniques on managing tantrums. We independence. They get to a point where they're walking, they're doing things, so they feel like they have a hold of some things, and they feel like they're independent, they can walk, they can do things. And sometimes when they're trying to do something by themselves, they're very frustrated. you know like maybe they're trying to open up a can, and they're very very frustrated, and if you take that can away from them so that you help them, they lash out. So anytime you find your child doing something just by themselves, and they're not able to, because they want to do it because they are seeking that independence, and you're there trying to help them, they will cry. Have you ever given a child a banana? They're trying to peel it, but they can't, and then they start crying because they're frustrated, they can't open it. Number four, physical needs. A child will just be like, I'm hungry now, and if you don't have something for them at that particular moment, they will lash out, they will have tantrums. Like, it can be, physical needs, can be food, can also be sleep. Maybe they need to be bathed. Maybe there's a way you feel when you feel like you're tired and you just need a bath. They don't know how to express that, or they're fighting that, they will cry, and you will be having tantrums. At some point, before I knew how to manage them, I was like, amekula, yeah, ameoga, amelala, sasa si anafaa kulala now. You're trying to see what is wrong with this child, so there's a list you have to be ticking to make sure everything is sorted out, so that we know exactly why this child is crying. So when they don't know how to express their physical needs, they will cause the tantrums. So you need to always check out for those things before, also, so that you can understand why they are having those tantrums. Number five, sensory overload. Have you ever wondered, sometimes you might be in some outside in a crowded place, and your child is just crying or causing a tantrum. Sometimes it's because noisy places can cause a sensory overload. Your their senses are overworking over time, because there's a lot of noise, there's so many people, and their senses are amplified. So you find that they can't control that, they can't put focus on one thing, and hence they're crying. Maybe they just want to leave, they want to go home, and then when you get home, they are calm. So sometimes crowded places, noisy places can give a child like sensory overload, and we don't want that. And the last one, attention seeking. Maybe you're just too focused on your phone or your laptop or your work or your TV, or just you're distracted by something, or just you're doing something and your child needs you and you're not giving them the attention they need. Guess what? They will cry and you have to stop doing what you're doing to cater to them. When you're a mom of multiple, maybe you're with one child and they're crying, you're trying to hold them, then the other one will start crying because the attention is on the other one. That happens. But yeah, attention seeking, I don't even need to explain that. So those are the reasons why toddlers have these tantrums, and I hope you look out for them. Whenever your toddler is, having these tantrums, just trying to figure out why they're having them, and also maybe cater to them for that specific need that they're going through or they want catered for. So yeah, but I have techniques here that are gonna help you manage your toddler tantrums very well. First one is sticking to a routine. Especially, as I've just said, if your child is in a routine, maybe in the evening you have a routine where they've eaten, you've bathed them, and then you brush their teeth. Now they know it's time to go to bed. So if you don't have a proper routine, maybe at some point they feel like they're tired and maybe you're not catering to their bath, or you're just distracted. Like, things are always just going zinataka. You don't have a routine. Your child will always be in a state of like causing tantrums. So if you can get into a routine and stick to one, I can tell you for sure, like our evening routines, I think I will shoot that one of these days. Like Atarah knows so they usually bathe and then she eats. So after she's eaten, yeah, sometimes they bathe and eat, or they eat and bathe. Those two sometimes they go like that. So after she's eaten or bathed, and then I tell her it's time to brush your teeth and go to bed. So sometimes when I tell her, Mama, it's time to go to bed, she'll be like, brush teeth, brush meno. Yeah, she says brush meno. So she's already in a routine, and she never disturbs. Honestly, guys, she brushes her teeth and immediately she starts telling everybody good night. We go to her bed. She enters into her bed and sleeps. So she doesn't cause any tantrums in the evening, like literally none. Even my son, he's also in a routine. He doesn't cause any tantrums at night. He just knows it. Like, it's just in him. Muscle memory, I think. Yeah. So have a routine and stick to it. Number two, make sure your babies always have enough sleep. Make sure you get in a nap during the day. Like, literally, even Atarah nowadays, at some point she had stopped going for naps, but we've gotten her back into napping. So making sure your babies get enough sleep will help ease their emotions. They'll feel more calmer and they won't be in a state of uneasiness or fatigue. They'll always be okay and you won't have tantrum. Make sure babies have enough sleep. During the naps, make sure they take the nap. Number three, sure your babies are well fed. Like, don't sorry guys, don't extend their time, the time that they need to eat their meals. If it's in the morning, make sure they've had their breakfast, mid morning, lunch, afternoon snack. They're going to sleep. My brush man. I come tell me good night. Give me a proper hug. Mwah. Endo utolee makamasi na ulale. See you, good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Student, student, say good night. Good night. Good night. I'm good.
2,000 years later.
Anyway, they've gone. They've said good night. Yeah. Making sure your babies are well fed. Don't miss out on the breakfast, the midday snack, lunch, afternoon snack, and dinner. Always make sure they eat on time. Even if you're outside, make sure you carry snacks for them. Yeah, in between, make sure they're snacking, healthy snacks. Yeah. So if your baby is well fed, like, why are they causing a tantrum? Then the fourth one is offer choices. Sometimes maybe your child doesn't want what you're offering at the moment, and you can give them an opportunity to just choose what they want at that particular moment. You give them, like, you can have a banana or an orange, pick one, or you can do drawing, or just give them choices so that they feel like it's them who are choosing something they want to do, to give them that kind of independence that they are really, really seeking. Yeah, so making sure you have choices to offer them. Sometimes kids they're causing tantrums because of what they're wearing. So if you show them, okay, which sweater do you want to wear today, and then they choose, and then they wear that. Number 5 is affection. I think it's really, I don't know if it's just my view, but I think all babies have their love languages are touch. I don't know. Maybe because they're always wanting to touch them or hug them. So always showing affection to your babies, I feel like that reduces the tantrum because you're giving them attention, you're playing with them, you're cuddling them, you're picking them up and you're playing with them. So yeah, that's another way of making sure you manage the tantrums even before they happen. So now, guys, we are going to discuss how to handle those tips that I've given you. Those ones are techniques to help you prevent, making sure these tantrums don't happen. So now they've happened, because sometimes you can do all that and still there's a gap there. They're still having tantrums. So your babies are having tantrums. How do you handle them? 1, stay calm and composed. This is one of the hardest things to do, especially if you've gone through traumatic childhood experiences where your parent shouts at you, insults you, and beats you. It's so hard because these tantrums, they trigger you to bring out that side of you, but you have to stay calm and composed. Like, just breathe in and out, be the composed one, and like, literally, they're having a tantrum. How will you there be shouting unataka kuwachapa? They won't listen. So always the first thing is to stay calm and composed. 2, be empathetic and understanding. It's hard, guys, especially if they're the ones pissing you off. You need to understand that they're trying to express themselves. Maybe they're frustrated, they're angry, they're sad. So you need to show empathy. Like, even you as an adult, if you are going through something hard, you're frustrated, you're worried, you have anxiety, you expect someone who is seeing you being in that moment, being empathetic and understanding of your feelings. So do the same for your child. Number 3, You can offer a distraction. You can tell them, maybe let's go outside. Let's go. If you're inside the house, you can be like, let's go outside, maybe, fresh air, let's go for a walk, let's go buy something at the shop. Just distract them from that so that they calm down. Number 4, remove them from the triggering situation. So if maybe you're in a crowded place and they're screaming, they're having those tantrums, maybe go to a quieter place, more quiet place. Just remove them from that situation. If somebody has made them mad or angry, if somebody has taken something from them, maybe just, this is like distraction as well, by the way. Just remove them from that triggering situation and take them to a more safe, calm, collected space. Number 5, this is very important. Avoid giving in to unreasonable demands, guys. Especially when your child is a bit older and they might take advantage of the situation. Like, I've seen my daughter being in a situation where she's really, really causing tantrums, and when you're trying there to be comforting and calm, she will be like, naked TV or something, naked sijui, and maybe it's not that time for TV, and you are reducing TV, or you buy them sijui what. Like, don't give in. So easy to give in, because you see, if you give in to those demands at that particular time, when they are, sometimes they may fake these tantrums and they will be giving you their demands, and you will have to give them because you've shown them that you can give in to their demands. So maybe promise something else, and something reasonable. Yeah, you know what's reasonable to you and your child, so offer that. Then after maybe you've handled that situation, or you're handling situation, you can ensure. Have you ever had this phrase where you are telling your child, we need to use words, like use words of how you're feeling, stop shouting, or if you're asking for something, like just ask nicely or ask clearly. Stop crying, baby girl. Stop crying and shouting. Ask, use your words. Use your words. Ask what you're asking nicely and clearly so that we know what you want. So encourage communication. Have positive reinforcement. So one could be like, praise good behavior. Of course, tantrums is not good behavior. So when your child is using their words, they're listening, so you can praise them for the good behavior that they are having, encourage them to continue being good. Yeah, just appreciating them being a good child and listening. And most of the time, it needs to be very verbal. Your child needs to know they're doing something good, so that when they're doing something wrong, they can differentiate when you don't appreciate what they're doing when it's wrong, and you appreciate when they're doing something that they're doing right. So always make sure you have that positive reinforcement. The other thing with tantrums that I have to mention is managing tantrums can be very emotionally draining. As I've said, these moments, they really, really test you, and they really, really trigger you. So they might bring out something out of you that your child can be scared of, and you don't want to be scary, or you don't want to be like, you want to be an authoritative parent, but also you don't want to be a parent who, like, you don't I don't know if you can relate to. Have you ever been in a situation where someone is shouting at their child, the child is having a tantrum, and they're like, oh, like, honestly, I don't think that usually works. So I think it's very important to manage that as an individual first. They say before you have kids, you need to make sure you're okay. Because let me tell you, these kids will test you. Hey, they will trigger you. They'll trigger your childhood traumas and all. So you need to be in a state where you are very open, and you're ready to be gentle with them. So as they go through these phases of life, you are able to understand them, and you're able to guide them and help them through these stages that they're going, and through this learning, expression. So it's really, really good to know what you're up for and work towards, being a better parent, because I know honestly these things they're not easy. As I've said, this can be very emotionally draining, and this is why also again I'm gonna emphasize on, you need to take care of yourself. You need to take short breaks, guys. You need to take breaks to breathe, you know. And yeah, just take care of yourself, because I know kids can be a lot. Yeah, kids can be a lot, and really, really avoid yelling. Avoid yelling at your kids. It never helps. It's not very effective. Just make sure you use your words, even yourself. Use words so that your child also knows how to use words. Sawa. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any tips on managing tantrums, please comment down below, and we'll be sure to check that out. If you like this video, also give it a like, comment, and share with your friends and family, or anyone who you feel like might benefit from this video. With that said, thank you so much for watching up to this point. I really, really appreciate you guys, and I love you. See you in my next one. Bye.